we will be discussing a little bit on, of course, how to keep fit during ECQ. Let's face it, right now it's pretty hard, and it's a little more challenging to get into fitness now that we're all staying at home. And in the last part, we'll be highlighting how we can actually beat stress naturally and healthy way. So we have science-backed and tested steps on how we can beat stress naturally. So let's go ahead and share that with you. So, to my dear participants, I we have multiple laptops here going. I'm just double checking if everyone's in now before we proceed. But of course, later on, after this very quick presentation, you can ask me questions, and then as well the mechanics on our three winners. So we're looking for three winners. So we have different giveaways. We will be giving away vitamins and supplements courtesy of our sponsor, Pure Transcribed Philippines. So we have two winners for that who will be walking away virtually with different types of vitamins. And then the third winner will be sending her or him Gcash load. So I'll go ahead and start with the presentation. Okay. Looks like everyone's in, and also double checked that looks like we're also live now on Facebook. Awesome. So wellness is possible. So we basically combined the words and we made it wellnessible. So that's why that's the name that we have, and it's been our advocacy since 2018. We wanted to help people level up their wellness game, and now that we're all facing this unprecedented, just very, very challenging time, it's very important that we all strive to be healthy and strive to be really health conscious. And we have the podcast. We're now in season 2. And of course, we have our community on Facebook group. You can type it in Wellnessible. And at the same time, we're building a Wellnessible app that's not a common mobile app. It's a gamified app that will be soon launching. So right now, we are basically it's just all about providing value and giving you content. And thus, we have this webinar, and this is our first ever webinar. Now, going in, let's jump right into our first topic, how to stay fit. As you can see, we've got just a very, just 4 ways. This is just to dip a little bit on that. Of course, this is a wide topic, and it doesn't work for everyone because every people are different. First of all, since we're all stuck at home, let's fight boredom and let's encourage ourselves and challenge ourselves to stay fit even though, we are just hanging around the house, right? I think that's number one tool that we should all be using, challenging ourselves. You should have goals. You should definitely have something to look forward to. And second of all, of course, you have to have accountability partner. It's very important that you have an accountability partner because when you have one, it's very easy for you to get engaged to work out, to the commitment that you put into your exercise. You can have like a virtual, exercise buddy. So it's really important that you have that. And of course, another step on how we can all stay fit is we should have a plan. Not everyone have can afford to work out every day. So it's just a matter of planning out your time wisely, planning in advance. Let's say, for example, okay, I'm going to be committing for 3 days in a week. You can start with that. It's really hard to initially, start big because it's gonna be hard in the long run. So it helps if you start with small steps first and then you just improve as you move along. And the last tip is of course to be consistent about it. And I know sometimes it may be hard, especially if you're feeling blue. Let's face that there are times that we feel that we're all human, right? When we're feeling down, it may be hard to stay consistent. That's the reason why I discussed earlier that you should always have a goal, to challenge yourself so that you have something to look forward to. That's a great motivator. That's really proven. And secondly, you have an accountability partner or an exercise partner you can work out with virtually if you're leaving alone. And thirdly, you have a plan. So being consistent will be easier if you're always going to keep those three things in mind. So that's just a highlight of how we can practice fitness while we're all staying home. And of course, some some of us, maybe all of you guys, are dealing with a lot of stressors, and it's part of being human. I think embracing the fact that we're all living in a very stressful time now is very important, because the more that you know, the more that you deny that it's everything's okay, the more it's going to be harder for you to adapt to this changing situation now. Let's face it, it's a very, different situation now. So we have here different ways and how we can beat stress. But first of all, I just wanted to acknowledge everyone for joining in. I'm seeing a lot, some people who are, they just sign in. Welcome, welcome to Wellnessible. I am now on the highlight of this webinar. So earlier we discussed about the fitness and how we can basically stay fit at home. And then the main highlight of this webinar is beating stress naturally. All right. And like I mentioned, for those who just tuned in, we will be having giveaways later on. It's very easy, guys. I'll discuss that later on after I finish this main highlight or this main topic that we have. So let me just dive right back into our topic, fighting stress naturally. So basically, to our viewers, we have two types of strategies, because there's the long-term strategies in dealing with stress, and there's the short-term. And the reason is because it's important we have different tools that we can easily grasp whenever that we are in that situation. There are times that we need an immediate response to stressors, and it also helps that we have a long-term plan in terms of dealing with stress. I'll discuss that later on, why it's important that you also have that and not just a short-term stress relief strategies. So short-term, so we have, of course, the guided imagery. So visualization, guys, is very important for us to take off our minds of something that is stressing us out. And I know a lot of you believe in the law of attraction. And when you visualize something, and we're in the middle of a very stressful situation, like this, a situation that we're all in, when you visualize something that's really soothing, that's something that you're looking forward to, your vision or mission in life, or something that makes you happy, maybe something from the past, these images that we put in our mind can actually release a lot of happy hormones. And it's scientifically proven that guided imagery, whatever you think, can actually have a great impact in your health. It's like a short vacation, even though you're just sitting at home trying to imagine things while your eyes are closed. It's definitely going to be a big help in terms of fighting stress naturally. You can try that, it's very easy. So you just basically, sit comfortably and think of some happy thoughts. And speaking of thinking of happy thoughts, number 2 here is meditation. I'm sure most of you know the power of meditation is very, very well known. A lot of people have been using this to really fight not just stress, but even depression. And the way meditation works, of course, I'm not an expert for that, but there are people who've been better off explained as well. But just in a nutshell, guys, since this is a part of our highlight, meditation really elevates your mental health. And when you're able to control your thoughts through meditation, you're able to control your stressors. It's easier for you to, I'm seeing to basically fight whatever problems you have. It's easier for you to have clarity, to have focus when you're meditating. And when you have more clarity and focus, obviously, you'll be able to come up with solutions easily, right? So if you have any questions, by the way, I'm seeing some comments in here. Feel free to do so, and I'm happy to answer that in just a few seconds. I'm seeing some chats coming up. Thank you so much for your questions, guys. And thank you so much to those who just signed in. I'm seeing that we are also getting some messages on Facebook because you're live there. Right, now our third one, and how we can all fight stress naturally, breathing exercises. I know, guys, most of you have heard about this. It's a free tool that we can all use anywhere, anytime. Breathing techniques can really calm you instantly. That's why it's under the short-term strategies and how we can all deal with stress. So, breathing exercises is basically from the word itself, just inhaling and exhaling. Do that for just a few minutes and you'll notice the instant uh, like calmness and that instant relief that you get. When you do this and you practice it daily or practice it religiously, you'll really notice some sort of like feeling literally, because it's scientifically proven that when you focus on on the air that you breathe in and breathe out, it's sort of you're sort of like doing like a segue out of whatever it is that's stressing you out. That's why it's an instant relief from stress. Now, the fourth one here, of course, I know it's pretty hard right now, but if you're able to take a walk, maybe if you have a big house, you can walk around your house. If not, then you can maybe do like a little walk in place, meaning you're not really moving around, but you're taking a walk. And once this ECQ is all done, then you can take advantage of this. Trust me, guys, taking a walk, especially if you're close to nature, is powerful in terms of really having that calmer mind, having that stress-free mind. And there's even a lot of studies that shows that if you wanted to have a great idea or if you wanted to do a creative project and you have either a writer's block, you have a creativity block, just take a walk and don't bring the phone and just just absorb nature, absorb that feeling of air, that wind blowing into your hair or whatnot. It really boosts your creativity, it really lessens your stress, and it's really helpful. So try that. All right, I have some questions in here. I'll answer that later on. Now, my favorite, get a hug from a loved one. Guys, we all know this, it's very effective in terms of fighting stress, even depression. As we all know, it releases good hormone, the love hormone, oxytocin. And there's a study that when you're stressed out, obviously you have a lot of the bad hormones that's being elevated when you're stressed out, and oxytocin is known to fight that off. So this is called the happiness hormones. And when you hug someone, it's an instant release of oxytocin. There's even a study that the hug should at least be minimum of 7 seconds. Yes, 7 seconds per hug for you to really transfer that oxytocin. Um, you can look it up. There's so many research showing that, and that's why it's called the love hormone. And that's the reason why if you are feeling stressed out, get a hug from a loved one, and you will have that boost of happiness because of oxytocin. And our sixth one here, I know a lot of you guys are very creative, and since we're all home, we might as well take advantage of doing some creative projects. It is well known to really help in beating stress. Doing an artwork, basically, it's the use of left and right brain. And when you're maximizing your brain and you're doing a creative project, especially if it's something that you're passionate about, it's a good instant, stress relief. And at the same time, you're doing something that you can either show off to your friends, maybe sell online. So I highly, highly encourage you to do a creative project, be it writing. I have some friends who are great in writing poems. Shout out to Erin. I also have some friends who paint. And I have some friends who do blogging. Shout out to Mondi. So many things, right? There's staying at home should not be a hindrance in terms of doing some creative projects. Maybe you can do some cooking and sell that online. It's not only that you're beating stress, you're also earning money out of it. So that's one. And of course, here comes the long-term stress strategies. Let's face it, there are times that the short-term activities for dealing with stress are not as effective. So it's important that we build a lifestyle in which we are able to cope with stress well. I mean, managing stress also, is a daily habit. So by eating a balanced diet, that's the number one, is a great way to alleviate stress because a poor diet, guys, can actually, increase so many fats. It can also increase your risk for lifestyle diseases. And let's face it, if you're not feeling well, obviously that brings problems that puts you into the negative mood. And there's even a research. Did you know that there's a research that when you have unhealthy, um, unhealthy weight, meaning you are not on the healthy weight side, it actually increases the inflammation in your body. And what that means is that you have too much inflammation in your body, and that causes a lot of bad hormones, which eventually gives you a lot of stress, can lead to depression, can also lead to basically lifestyle diseases like heart diseases, diabetes, and all that. So that's the reason why having a good diet, a healthy diet, is a strong foundation in terms of, fighting off stress in the long run, right? When you eat daily, you're like building your immune system, you're building your body to be able to fight the stressors that you'll be facing because stress is really constant and it's out there every day. So we need to have a way of managing it and start with your food, guys. That's a very good foundation for fighting it off. And the second one is having time for leisure activities. Guys, I know I always encourage about hustle, hustle, hustle. Like you've probably seen that in my social media that I love hustling and I encourage people to hustle, not just working on 9 to 5. It's important that they have multiple revenue streams. But it's also important that we have activities or hobbies to feel the good vibes, to feel happy, right? Watching Netflix every now and then, but not too much of it. Gardening, reading, or maybe cooking. It's really important that you build that kind of lifestyle wherein you have a work-life balance. And wow, I'm seeing some questions in here. Thank you so much for your questions, guys. And I'm seeing some people on Facebook as well. Thank you so much for joining us. So we are now on the long-term strategies in terms of how we can all fight stress. And like I mentioned earlier, for those who just joined, we're doing a giveaway later on after this short talk. So we're almost done. And our third strategy here on how we can fight off stress is developing a positive self-talk habit. Guys, I cannot stress this enough because this is very, very important because whatever it is that you tell yourself, whether it's verbally or internally, meaning you're talking to yourself, like just using your mind, is a really one of the most, I would say, one of the ways to really boost your mental health. So if you're always negatively doing self-talk, like for example, sometimes we unconsciously do this. We tell ourselves, I hate myself, or my God, nakakahiya, what a shame. Or like maybe we can say, I can't do it, I can't do it. Oh my God, I'm such any negative self-talk. Please stop doing that. I know sometimes we unconsciously do it, but if we practice positive self-talk, it will become a habit. And let me tell you the reason why it's important we have a positive self-talk. It's because whatever, like I mentioned, whatever it is that you tell yourself will be consciously and adapt. Because we remember our brain, our mind, we have the conscious thought and unconscious level, right? So whatever it is that your consciousness is telling you will be absorbed by that means basically just in layman's term is that if you're always telling yourself that you're not good enough, that you're ugly, that you're fat, you're telling yourself that you cannot do it, it's basically it's what it's going to happen. But if you're telling yourself that I am enough, I can do this, I can fight this, I can overcome this, I am healthy, I am wealthy. Remember, wealth is not just about money. You know, when you think about those, when you tell yourself about those, that's on your conscious level. Your unconscious level, which is bigger than your conscious level, is adapting that. And the moment that those two things sink in, meaning they're in sync, gosh, it's really powerful. If you only realize how positive thought is powerful and how they can make change in our lives, you would never think any negative thoughts again. I'm gonna repeat that. If you can only realize how powerful your mind is in terms of, like everything basically in your life, you would never think any negative thoughts anymore. Because whatever it is that you wanted in life, and I'm gonna say this, I'm sure most of you guys are believers of law of attraction. Whatever it is that you tell yourself, whatever it is that you throw out there in the universe. I'm seeing some people on the other laptop, like seeing some comments. I'll get back to you to that. Whatever it is that we tell to your universe, if you keep flowing in positivity, that's what you're gonna get. So if you keep telling yourself some positivity, if you keep encouraging yourself through positive self-talk, that's what you're gonna get as well. So in a nutshell, it's a great way to fight off stress, because if you wanted to fight off stress naturally, you can do so by encouraging yourself to positive self-talk. Now, moving on to one of my favorites here, it's expressing gratitude. There are so many studies, guys, that shows that being grateful is really an effective tool in terms of our, boosting our health. And not only that, because if you are expressing gratitude, people would want to be around people who are thankful, right? Versus who are those who are just feeling that I deserve everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be really always be thankful to yourself, thankful to the people around you, thankful to the universe, thankful to every single thing, regardless if it's a tiny thing or, be thankful. Actually, there's a study that even if you're thankful, not just for the positive things in life, if you're thankful for even for the challenges that you're encountering, if you're thankful for that, it sort of like gives you that contentment. And there is a study that people who's not contented in life are more at risk in terms of getting depression and getting stressed out. So it really boils down to being thankful, even though there are challenges, and more importantly, being thankful if there are blessings, right? So if you wanted to improve the quality of your health, the quality of your life, always express gratitude to everything, no matter how big or how small they are. I'm going to repeat that. Always express gratitude to everything, be it small or big. That will really boost your health. That will boost your anti-stressors. All right. I hope you guys are taking some, have some takeaways from that. All right, so we're almost done. Our fifth one is always prioritizing exercise. Of course, no need to explain this. It's very important when you practice, physical activities, regardless if it's a workout or you're doing crazy dance. I love doing like spontaneous crazy dances. It really releases a lot of happy hormones, and it's good for managing your stress and improving your mental health. And of course, our last one here is obtaining social support. Guys, I know that we're all staying at home, and having that support from your friends, organizations, or groups is very important for us to manage the stress. And that's because having a circle of friends support you, or having people that you wanted to support as well, where it's a two-way street, it's actually a great way to basically manage stress. Now, that's our topic. I am just going to read off. All right. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Edward, for that comment about mindfulness. Yes, it's very important. When we live mindfully, we are easier to not just identify the stressors and combat those stressors, but at the same time, we're able to express more graciously and become more grateful, because Again, we're being mindful of everything. So you can do mindful eating, mindful walks, mindful reading, very mindful. So I'm just gonna read. Thank you for that, Edward. So we're live on Facebook as well. Yes, that's right. Eat more vitamin C. Guys, vitamin C is very important now to fight off stress. Of course, you can get it from supplements. Later on, we have supplements from Pre-Written Spry that will be given away. And you can get it from food as well. There's so many food that's vitamin C rich. They're packed with not just vitamins but with minerals. So it's really important that we eat healthily. I mean, like as much as possible, if we can avoid eating manufactured food, like for example, like instant noodles or like foods in can. I know those are the things that are commonly available now, but if there's a way we can lessen that and increase natural foods instead, like fruits and vegetables, then it will be better. It will be best for you. Laughing, absolutely. Laughing is an instant vacation. All right. So if you are feeling stressed out, you can definitely laugh. And did you know that our brain cannot identify a fake laugh and a genuine laugh? So regardless if you're faking a laugh or it's a real one, your brain cannot tell the difference. So if you're stressed out and you can barely laugh, just fake it, and you'll have an instant increase of the happy hormones, the oxytocin, the serotonin. Those are the happy hormones that we need inside our body. And if we're, for example, we are heartbroken or we're stressed out, a lot of stress hormones are popping up in our body, and it really push it down. We feel like we're at the rock bottom. So we should all do different ways to boost our happy hormones instead. And laughing, exercising, meditating, exercising are a good way to do that. All right, so we're done. I think, hold on one second. Okay, so now as promised, guys, we have, of course, our giveaway right now. So let me just check on comments. All right. I think I should so that you can speak as well. And maybe that can have some insights you'd love to share. I mean, I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Um, so I have my very tech people here who are helping me out. Are they on mute? Okay. Do you guys have any questions?
Pwede naman salita, tapos lalabas yung mukha niya kung gusto salita.
Okay. We're live on Facebook, by the way. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me on our first ever Wellnessible webinar. So we will have, this is just a teaser of our major webinar that's coming up on May 14th, where we have different speakers. We will have about 4 to 5 different advocates or speakers who will be joining us. So this is the teaser instead. Okay. Okay, so for our giveaway, I just basically wanted to ask you what are tips you did in terms of fighting off stress?
Is it long term or short term mix?
Both. Hi, Anna. Okay, welcome. All right, so you're the first one, so I'm gonna have to pick you. No choice. I'm just kidding. Okay, so Anna, what is your personal hack for beating stress? Maybe you can share it to the group.
Okay, personally, in my own way, I fight stress by playing with my daughter because I have a daughter. I have a 2-year-old, so she really gives me stress relief.
Oh, nice. I love that. Okay, congratulations. Yay!
Yeah.
So you just won. I'll be sending you by mail some supplements courtesy of Puritan Sprite. So watch out for that. I'll ask you offline your address. So we still have 2 more prizes. One is another like pack of different supplements and another one for Gcash load. I wanted to see if you guys, what's your just for feedback, like what's your biggest takeaway on everything that I said? Anyone? Any takers? Okay, Champagne. Hi.
Hi, I made it. I'm so happy to be part of this. I've learned so much from you, and this is very helpful to so many out there. So thank you for doing this. My main
So
takeaway, I
yeah,
guess,
yeah.
my main takeaway is basically, yeah, we really have to be grateful because as hard as what we're going through right now is, I know it's very tough, but it's nice to know that there are still so many things to be grateful for. You know, the fact that we have a roof over our heads, or the fact that we're alive, the fact that we're healthy, the fact that just so many things to be grateful for. So I think that's something that I have to always remind myself to do. I think it's a
Yeah.
wonderful tip. Personally, I also do a lot of, like you said earlier, do a lot of artistic things, and I really really like that tip also. So I think I'm gonna continue writing songs or
Yeah.
singing because that really helps relieves it helps relieve my stress as well.
Awesome. And congratulations, by the way, on your album.
Thank you very much, and congratulations
Yeah.
with this new webinar and what you're doing with Wellnessible. I think you're doing an amazing thing, and I'm really proud and happy for you.
Thank you, Champagne. So offline, I'll ask you later on for your address as well. And so now are down to our last question. Actually, I just prepared two questions. Um, I guess let's just play it by ear. Let me see the please. Can you see the Facebook? Any more that who wants to share their maybe their takeaways? It's sort of like great to, I think, to wrap things up if you can share your takeaway. And of course I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna pick you as the third winner. So we're talking about 200 pesos load. I'm going to be sending through Gcash. So that's the last giveaway before we wrap things up. Anyone who wanted to share their thoughts about this short webinar? Oh, yeah, we have a chat. All right. Oh, and he has a chat. Wait, how do I open that? Because there are some chat. Okay. All right, so mhm, go. Okay. Anyways, guys, so before we wrap things up, if you wanted to grab that, feel free to post something that you learned instead on your social media and just tag me, and I'll happily randomly pick one more winner for our third one. Thank you so much again. I'm super grateful that you joined our first webinar. Again, May 14th, our biggest webinar is coming up. We've been working on that for the past couple of weeks with different speakers and in partnership with a couple of brands. So please watch out for that. That's I think it's a Thursday. We'll be posting about it once everything's finalized. Thank you so much for joining and happy Friday. Friday. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.